Hello there everybody, hope you're doing fine. So this is the third video of our Python tutorial series. Last video we talked about data types and variables in Python, and I made a promise to talk about every single data type of these individually. So in this video we'll be talking about strings. So let's get started here. Well, strings, as I mentioned before, are just text, nothing else. When you think of strings, you think of some characters like this who are wrapped in double quotes or in single quotes. This is how we refer to strings. Just like this, you can use whatever quotes you prefer, doubles or single, doesn't matter. So in strings we can concatenate strings, like add this part to this part like this. For example, if I want to print this plus this in one string, or let me change the string, this one is horrible. Alright, for example, here Mike and Smith, we have two strings. We want to print one single string that contains this string and this string here. All what we have to do is this following: we just make use of the plus symbol, nothing else. Well, let us first assign these values to some variables. Let's call this v1 for variable 1, and this is v2 variable 2. So we have two variables, each one has a unique value of a string, and if we want to print this one plus this one, we just do the following: v1 plus v2. If I hit Ctrl B, I see Mike and Smith just in one single string, but we notice that there is no space. We can add space if you want, like here. This solves our problem. Or the same thing, you can just add it here at the beginning of this Smith string, and the same happens here, the same thing is printed. Or we can come here and add another string that has nothing inside of it but a white space, just like this, and if I hit Ctrl B, the same happens here. Well, now we're talking about strings, and as I said, we'll talk about integers and floats and booleans in other videos. So let's go back here. If I want to print every single one of these characters that make up this string, you have to understand something first. Strings are numbered. Every character of a string has a unique number. For example, this M is a number 0, this number 1, this number 2, this number 3, and so forth until the end of the string. So if I want to get the first character, all I have to do is to refer to it by its variable name, open square brackets, and calls by its number. We said that this is 0, like this, because in programming we start from 0, not from 1. If I hit Ctrl B, I get M because this is the first character here. If I want to get this, I just have to calls by its number, which is 1. Here I get I. For example, I want to get this part MI, then I need the character number 0 and the character number 1. I can do this if I want, like 0. This prints M, and here I can, well, here can do v1 and tap into the value of the number 1 and get this mi like this in one string. But there is another easier way to do the same thing. Here I refer to the variable by its name, v1, and I specify the start value and the end value. Here we start from 0, go to 1 and 2, we stop here, so I have to go from 0, 1, 2. This will get me this part. Here I see that's 0, then I separate it with a comma and type 2. this will print the same thing. Using Control B gets you my, and I can, for example, get these parts just by increasing the number here, incrementing it by 1 here. I get this, and if I want to get the entire string we have here, I just have to call all the characters from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. But we just call it like this and make life much easier. If we want to get the length of this string, like how many characters make up this string, we can use a function called len, short for length, and here we type the name of the variable. For example, this v1 contains 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, therefore the length of this v1 will be 4 here as expected. And same thing can happen for the other string v2. Here it contains 5 characters. Well, as I said, these characters are numbered from 0 to the length of this string, like this is 0, 1, 2, 3. But if we want to start in a reversed order, we call it from here. For example, we start from here instead of here. Then we don't start from 0, we start from -1. This is -1, this is -2, this is -3, this is -4, just like that. Let's see some examples here in this v1. If I want to get this e, I just have to call it by -1, and as you can see, well, let me remove this link first. Here we get the last character of this string, which is the letter E. And if I want to get this this letter, I just have to decrement it by 1, and -2 will get me the letter key. There you go. Well, this is it about strings. You can also manipulate the look of the strings by calling it with some built-in methods. Like, for example, I have this variable 1. If I want to print this in lowercase, all the letters will be in lowercase, I do the following. I just call the lower function like that, and I get everything here in lowercase. You see this letter here, it's in capital case, but here it's in lowercase, just like that. Now if I want to print everything in uppercase, and you might have guessed this, I just type upper here. Here you get everything in uppercase. And for example, if this was in lowercase and I want to print it and like it was before, I just type title here in the form of a title, and it gives me the first character capitalized. Yep, that's it, I guess. And what else have we covered yet? Let me see. We also can manipulate lots of other stuff in strings. We can split them and join them together, but that will mean that we have to use lists, and we still haven't covered lists yet. We just gave a brief overview about them in the previous video, but once we make a video about lists, then we'll talk about the chain of characters and how can we like split this tree in half or join them together. Yep, that's it. So this is what we have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then give a like. If you didn't, give a dislike. Well, I don't have a dislike here, so yeah. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching and take care.